Hello, and welcome to today's video. My name is Sandra, known as gain_strength_ on all social media platforms, and thank you for clicking on today's video. Ever wonder why you're not seeing gym results? You're working out, but the gains are just not showing. Sound familiar? Let's break down 3 common mistakes that could be holding you back on your progress and what to do instead. Plus, stick around for the end to hear the bonus point. Let's dive in, and these are in no particular order. Mistake number 1 is over-reliance on isolation exercises versus compound lifts. Now, let's break it down. What are isolation exercises? We're talking about bicep curls, leg extensions, hamstring curls, those type of exercises that target one specific muscle group versus a compound lift, which is an exercise that targets more than just one muscle group or joint. So, for example, squats, deadlifts, presses. Now, I do love a good bicep curl as much as anyone else, but if all you're doing are bicep curls or leg extensions or tricep pull downs, you're missing the big picture. Like I mentioned, isolation movements or isolation exercises work just one muscle group at a time. Now, that's fine sometimes, don't get me wrong, but it's not the most efficient way to build strength or muscle, or if you're short on time. Instead, focus on compound lifts. Like I mentioned, squats, deadlifts, rows, or presses. These hit multiple groups at once. They help build functional strength, and it helps with muscle building overall. Use isolation exercises as accessory work, not the foundation of your training. Next up is jumping from one trend to the next. One week, it's a random TikTok challenge that you saw online. Then the next, it's a HIIT workout that your coworker swears by. But here is a problem with that. You're not giving your body enough time to work. Your body needs consistency and the time to adapt to the workout, to be challenged by the workout. And if you're always switching things up, you never build that momentum to see that long-term progress. Now, trendy workouts might be fun. I get it, they are fun. But if you're serious about getting results and making the most of your training in the gym, stick to the basics. Build a solid program and give it at least 6 to 8 weeks before changing anything. Progress comes from repetition and consistency, not from randomness. And finally, the silent killer of gains is not using progressive overload in your training. So for those of you that may not know, progressive overload just means essentially that you are adding stress to your body with your lifts week after week. It doesn't necessarily only come from adding more weight to the bar or the dumbbells from a week to week basis. Actually, I wouldn't even recommend you do that every single week, because you may hit a plateau and then you're not going to be able to keep progressing. There are other ways to also progressively overload, such as playing around with the tempo, so time under tension, changing the number of sets, changing the number of reps, and yes, adding more weight to whatever lift you're doing. So if you're lifting the same weights for the same number of reps, for the same number of sets, week after week after week, your body no longer is adapting to the stress you're placing on it. And in this case, the stress we're talking about is the resistance training. So your body adapts to this, and when your body adapts, it's no longer growing. Your muscles need a reason to grow. That means increasing the challenge, like I said. One week, maybe you add more weight. The next week, you add more sets or more reps. You add more volume, or maybe just time under tension, or your form just gets better over time. So track your workouts. That's my number 1 tip with this, is make sure you're tracking the weights, the reps, the sets, the exercises you're doing. Push yourself to really challenge yourself when you're in the gym. Make the time in the gym actually count for something and challenge yourself, push yourself. So track your workouts, push yourself. Don't just go through the motions. Really focus on what you're doing. Challenge yourself on every week, every day you're in the gym, and make the time that you are in the gym count for something. And this leads me to the bonus point that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is that just because you're in the gym or just because you work out, you're still honestly kind of living a sedentary lifestyle. What do I mean by this? Most of us are in the gym maybe for an hour, 4 to maybe 5 days on a good week, and that's all the activity that we're doing, but we're not taking into account the other 23 hours of the day. What are you doing those? You want to say hi to the video? Can you give me a kiss? Thank you. He's shy. So it's great that you're working out. You're honestly already a step ahead of everybody else who's just laying around, sitting on the couch, doom scrolling. But again, don't ignore the other 23 hours of the day. Pay attention to how many steps you're taking each day. Pay attention to what you're eating. That plays a big role on what progress or changes you see. Make sure you're hydrating enough and that you're getting enough rest and recovery. What you do outside of the gym is also very important. So let's recap. Stop relying on only isolation exercises, ditch the trendy workouts, and stick to the basics. Challenge your body with progressive overload, and pay attention to what you do outside of the gym because it is just as important. Now, I get it. You might be thinking, well, these aren't very fancy tips, but trust me, they work. Real progress comes from consistent effort, smart training, and lots of patience. Fitness isn't something that's going to come overnight. You have to put in the work. Now, if you feel like this helped, drop a comment. Have you been guilty of one of these? I know that I have. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed to make sure you don't miss out on any other fitness and nutrition related topics. And I will catch up with you guys in the next video. And don't forget, you're stronger than your mind lets you think.